Good day, children. In video 1, you got a description of the children living in the slum, a description of the classroom and the things in the classroom that do not relate to the lives of these children. Neither do the textbooks that describe the beauty of nature and uses glorious words aid them to understand their lessons. Now we'll continue with stanza 3. I'll read the stanza for you first. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On their slag heap these children wear skins, peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass, like bottled bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. So Stephen Spender says that Shakespeare is wicked. Why? Because he writes only for the rich and the royal. He writes only about the rich and the royal. Shakespeare's patron was a royal person, and so Shakespeare used to cater to his needs. So his stories were always about the rich, royal and the powerful. That is why Shakespeare is wicked. So these children living in the slum, when they read the books of Shakespeare, they cannot relate to the life that he describes in his stories. The map which hangs in the classroom, the open-handed map drawn according to the will of the rulers, is a bad example. These children are unable to locate their world in this map. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Here it is a symbolic line. Here ship representing the conquest, the armada. The sun representing hope, and love, of course, the romance. So with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. So this is what they get to read in these books. So they aspire for this kind of life. When they read about all this, they desire to lead that kind of life. So tempting them to steal means to aspire for a life that they can never think about leading. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night, their lives are meant to be lived. Slyly means barely noticed. Their lives are meant to be lived, barely noticed in their cramped holes, congested holes. So the slum is described as a congested hole from fog to endless night. So it's a question here put forward by Spender. So is in their life meant to be lived without anybody noticing in the congested holes from fog to endless night. From fog means it's a misty state, uncertain, not so bright. Endless night, it is darkness. So from misery to misery, it is from eternity to eternity. Their lives are meant to be lived in the cramped holes. So there is no end to this kind of misery for them. On their slag heap, these children wear skins, peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass, like bottled bits on stones. On their slag heap, it has two connotations here. Slag heap can mean undernourished body, or it can also mean the heap of garbage that is dumped in these slums. So on their slag heap, these children wear skins. So on their malnourished body, the malnourished body is covered with skin through which the bones can be seen jutting out. And spectacles of steel with mended glass. They are using spectacles that have been discarded by others. So when a spectacle is discarded, it cannot be used. A spectacle's purpose is to give a clarity of vision. So when it is discarded, that means you do not get a clarity of vision. That is why you have discarded it. But these children cannot afford to buy a spectacle, so they use discarded spectacles. And as a result of that, they get a distorted vision, not a clear vision. So, and spectacles of steel with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. Bottle bits on stones gives out a glare. It does not give a clear vision. So it gives out a glare, so it becomes hazy. The vision becomes hazy. So like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. All of their time and space is meant to be lived in this foggy slum. Foggy, not bright, slum. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. And so the map of their life is blotted with or tainted with slums as big as doom. So the life in the slum, the map of their life is tainted with or blotted with doom. That means their life is going to be miserable in this slum. So tainted their maps of life with slums that spell only doom and disaster for them. So their life is meant to be lived in misery from fog to endless night, and they are wearing on their undernourished body, we can see the skins through which the bones are jutting out, and they are wearing spectacles of steel that have been discarded and which gives them a distorted vision of life. And their life is meant to be lived in this slum, this foggy slum, which does not give them any hope. So the map of their life is tainted or blotted with or spoiled with slums that spell only doom for them and not a very bright future. Moving on to stanza 4. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. History theirs, whose language is the sun. So the last stanza is the tone changes there. All along it was a pessimistic tone, and in the last stanza Spender moves towards an optimistic tone. As I told you in the introduction, Spender believes that there are adults who can transport these learners beyond the boundaries of the classroom. So this is where the adults step in. So Spender believes that there are people who have the power and authority to change the lives of these children. So governor here representing the head of the state, inspector, the educational inspector who keeps visiting schools, and the visitors. Visitors are the benefactors or the philanthropists who provide aids for the children. So unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window. This deceitful map, this map of their life becomes their window through which they get a glimpse of their life. What kind of life? The real life. That means a life of misery. And these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. And finally, what happens? These children who live in the slum, they get shut. That means they can't dream of a life beyond the slum. These windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs, they end up living in slum. They end up living in the slum, and they end up in the slum only. So, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Catacombs are underground graves. So they cannot dream or they cannot think about a life beyond the slums. So this map, this deceitful map, becomes their window, and these windows will shut upon their lives like catacombs. That will shut the gates of progress for these children. They will not, this life in the slum or the quality of education that they get will not help them to move out of this slum. So here, Spender questions the quality of education. So he says that has to be changed, and that power rests with these people who have the authority or the power to change the quality of education that is provided to these children. What they are learning right now, they can never relate to. So teach them something that they can relate to, something that will enable them to move out of this slum. Break, oh break open till they break the town. So this acts as a barrier. So Stephen Spender pleads, break, oh break open this bondage. Break this bondage. Break the town, break the bondage. So this obstacle or this barrier that stops them from moving out of the slum has to be broken, and that power rests with these people. So he's asking them, he's pleading them to break the town, break the barrier, and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands. So take the children out beyond the classroom into the green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands. Let them run on the blue water that flows on the golden sand. Let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. Let them read not from the leaves of the book, but instead let them read from the leaves of the trees or leaves of the nature. History theirs, whose language is the sun. Only those people make and create history who have derived the warmth and strength of sun. Here sun is equivalent to education. So Spender believes that education is a weapon with which a change can be brought about in their life. So only quality education can add color to their life. That means only people who have the courage and conviction to break free from the constraints of life can create history. Here, education becomes a powerful weapon like the sun that will give them the power and strength to break free from the shackles of a life of misery that they are leading. So he's pleading to change the quality of the education. And when the quality of education is changed, that will bring in a color to their life, that will enable them to break free from this misery, the life that they are leading in the slum, and move out. And that power rests with these people. So he's pleading to them. So with that, we finish this poem. Thank you, children.